begs the next question is now, okay, we all think aliens are real, right? We all think that. Now, what do you guys think they're hostile, or do you think they're are friendly? Like, what do you feel like their here or our interaction with them is about?
So I think in everything there's duality, right? There's good and evil everywhere, but I personally believe that the extraterrestrials that are here were the ones that helped seed our civilization, that
I
are
agree with that.
responsible for humans.
Yep.
So we are distant relatives to them.
Yeah.
We literally have
Well,
the
Native,
same
yeah.
DNA.
I think Native,
a lot of the same DNA as them.
Native
So
Americans say that they came down and they put part of their DNA
Hopi
in us,
Americans
right?
say that. Mayans
Yep.
say that.
Yep.
Egyptians say
Yep.
that. You look at the different star clusters and all the facts and data that we have that prove it's mind-boggling. But so my thing is, why would they be our distant relatives and help us become who we are in this beautiful planet that we live in, and then want to come destroy us? That's not it.
So I agree with you
the
on
way
that.
to connect with them as you watch this is through raising your vibration to a loving frequency and connecting them through love.
Yeah.
So this is where it's like a total different like paradigm shift that we have to do, because we are programmed through media from the moment we're born that aliens are bad, through Hollywood, every type of medium. And so once we realize that, I can connect, meditate, and connect with somebody in India, or people are capable of doing that, why is that not able to do that with somebody from a different planet, right?
And cross galaxies.
Cross galaxies, because law of entanglement,
Cosmos.
right? We're all connected in some form or way or fashion. So,
Well, yeah, 'cause I think just going off with that as well is that the other thing about that is, like you said, I think we dive deeper into, like you're saying, the connection startup part of that. I think we're gonna jump into the different kinds, right? And we'll define those, and then we'll talk about this kind of like the fifth kind that you're kind of talking about and trying to get to that. But Rob, you want to go? What your opinion on it?
I was gonna say one of the things that they reiterated in the documentary is like when you often saw the aliens come and make an appearance is usually when there was something like nuclear or something big that's happening in the world that would cause like destructions of the planet. And so when they, I don't know if it was specifically when they had the atomic bomb drop, but you started seeing a little more witnesses of them seeing them, flying around and stuff.
So I think that's like my theory is, like, I think after the atomic bomb went off, they're kind of like, okay, these guys are fucking around down here.
we
Unnatural. We can't leave them to their own devices. I think we got to kind of check in on these guys a little bit more often, right? So I think, like you mentioned, now like some of the documentaries, they mentioned some of the people who are in these testing parts of it have come out and said, we've seen like that we launched a missile, we've seen something come over.
Deactivate
it. Not deactivate, just beam it this side, this way. This is a rocket going, and then flying out, like getting like info on or whatever. But then there's, like you mentioned, like I think it was in Ukraine, but this is when they're part of the USSR. Like back then, when they were like for 15 seconds they lost control. Like they had like a UFO come down and kind of hit like their 4 launch locations or something, and then for 15 seconds they lost control of their missiles, and they're about to launch to America. So I know a lot of people didn't know that how close it would have been, because those people were freaked out, like they're ready for the devastation that's going to cause, right?
Yeah.
But then they got back control of it again. It was kind of more like them coming down, like, we understand your technologies and we can deactivate it if you guys try something. You know. So I agree. I think it's more of them, like you mentioned. I think they're more looking at our safety, kind of more of anything. Like, don't fuck up this planet, ourselves,
Well, I mean,
too much invested.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, or millions of years longer than we have. For us to think that there can be a false flag or an invasion, and that we're going to have an opportunity to compete with them is so far-fetched. I hope that every American or citizen in the world is like, F that. This, like, there's no way. Like, well, I guess we'll be their slaves, or
we would have been already.
There's enlightenment. Yeah, we would have been already. Maybe we already are.
Yeah. Maybe we're avatars.
Right.
Maybe they're playing
the Matrix.
Maybe. But no. But like, to your point, like, exactly. Like, the technology that's been out there that they found or whatever is just like, we're not even close to that. It's totally gone. But on top of that, if they were really hostile and they wanted to like you said, take us as slaves or wanted to run or kill us. All that would have been done already at this point.
Yeah, totally. They wouldn't have waited until we got this sophisticated and could do nuclear bombs and have a space program and then be like, well, we better fight him now. And let's have a hard fight. Perfect timing.
It's like, oh man, that Elon guy launched a rocket or a ship out there. I think it's time, guys.
They've got 5 PlayStations out right now. Let's attack them.
Yeah.
No, wait until they get to PlayStation 7, then we'll go down there.
Dude, I worked with a Marine once, and he was like a general or led people in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he was telling us at work, he's like, why would you ever go into a fight that's fair? Right? So if these aliens want to come over, you don't wait till it's fair, close to fair, anything. You just come in and you handle business and whatnot. But yeah, so that's why I think, the beautiful thing about the whole documentary is we're in charge. Yeah. We have the ability to communicate with them, to create peace, and to invite them in and disclose this in a really beautiful way. We don't need to depend on our government to be the voices for us, because I think we can all agree, whether you're Republican or Democrat or whatever, you're not represented. They're just doing their own self-interest. And so what I love about this is it's building this beautiful community of people all over the world that are having these experiences and whatnot. And we can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a minute. And but just going back to why, we want to talk about why they're hiding and hostile. I think we've kind of discussed that. We think they're not hostile, right? I think we're all in agreement with that, right?
Yeah, it's not like Independence Day where they come in, land on a planet, get pissed off.
That shit wouldn't happen already.
Mothership comes in,
yeah. So I think that, and I think. So I guess going back to why they're hiding, I think that's going to tie in a little bit to what you were mentioning right now, to see them, right? So.
Well, yeah, I don't know if they're hiding. I think our governments know that they are there and exist, and I think that there's some sort of agreement in place with the different governments. But I think it's our job as humans, right, to live a life of continual growth, and part of that isn't just growing in your career or whatnot. It's also growing spiritually, and that's what I think is beautiful to the process in which they talk about. But before we go into that, we should talk about the different types of encounters that there are.
Yeah, before we go in there, though, I want to ask a question real quick.
Yeah.
So what would your guys' reaction be if you guys were going to get abducted? If you're getting abducted, what?
Take me, let's do this.
Please don't anal probe me.
So no, but my thing is you hear from some of these experiences, you go up there, and then many of them say that you're not talking and they're not moving their mouth, but it's telepathy, right, to the brain. So you can talk that way to them, right? And knowing that, for myself, I'm like, all right, I gotta think of things I want to ask them. I gotta be calm, when it happens. It's all right, man. They're probably gonna do some shit to me, but they're not gonna hurt me.
Well, no. So I think that's the thing. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Tens of thousands of people around the world have had these encounters. Nobody's ever been hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So when you come out and reach out to them in a loving way, if you are I'm a little bit scared right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can have you pop up in my face, but can you work with me on this? They're able to read your mind, and they're not going to do things that are going to make you uncomfortable. So I had my own encounter, and I was scared, and I communicated that to them, and they appeared in a beautiful, non-threatening way. And I think we got to get away of this idea that they're going to anally probe us and stuff.
So my thing is I'm over I don't care if you're going to do that, whatever. I know they're not going to hurt me. They're probably, if they need to protect me, whatever. My thing is I got to ask them questions. I got to be ready to ask them what I want to know. So and some of the stuff would be hey, can you scan my body if I have some kind of cancer or something?
Totally.
Yeah, because in the documentary, they talk about the dude that lost his hearing and stuff like that. And
I'm hey, man, can you, I know you're going to do this to me. Can you at least, grow my hair back or something? Something like that,
Can you make my penis a little bit larger?
Something.
6 inches isn't this big. I really want it to be a real 6 inches.
Yeah, but that's what I'm like. That's what I wonder is when I was watching the documentary, I was like, man, because they're not hostile. I just got to, I just want to be prepared for when it happens. It's to be calm, cool, and ask what you want to ask, right?
So think about this, man. Imagine the human race in 200,000 years from now. 2,000 years ago was the Dark Ages or whatever. We've come a pretty long way. Yeah, there's bad things that happen, but that all belongs. But imagine how far we'll be when we're able to have the technology of free energy and all this stuff, and we're not competing, and capitalism isn't there, and people are able to just be and just live and connect. it's really like a beautiful world, and that's where these entities are. They're at such a higher vibration level. They don't even have the 3D matter, because if you think about low density light is matter, high density or high frequency light or matter is light, right? So they aren't even oftentimes in this 3D realm, and when they're coming, and when you watch that Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, what I didn't realize for a long time was, why is it sometimes we see discs and physical things in the sky, and why is it sometimes we just see these lights and orbs? And a lot of that has to do with the thought that we are light years away, right? But you're able to be anywhere, like the Skunk Works guy said in that same documentary. How we're able to teleport and whatnot, because all things in time and space are equal, right? And so rather than going at the speed of light, we're able to travel at the speed of thought. So if you connect with something in 25 million light years away, they're able to appear anywhere through that connection, but their density of their being will be at a higher frequency, so it'll be a light frequency, it'll be an orb, right? So anyway.